On the 19th day of aircraft, I forgot how scrolling works, but we have an F-15 F. F for foldable, because I just basically made another F-15. Just kind of threw it together in a rush, so it's not the best replica of an F-15, but it wasn't really meant to be because the main point of it was testing using this hinge here to make an F-15 with fully foldable wings. Oh yes, it is locked by default because it is set up for flight, but I will now demonstrate that is what it is in its fully locked position, which realistically probably should be more like this, because you don't need to fold it all the way to there. You just need to get the horizontal space minimized as little as possible. Although I suppose this does have the slight advantage that if you had something that could take up part of the space here but was taller, you'd have a little more clearance that way. But in any case, I'm going to lock it back up, show you that the mass and center of lift are pretty much where you'd expect them. Going to double check the action groups because I couldn't remember how to do them. It's 7 and 8 for toggling the wings positions, 1 for afterburners, and 9 for nose steering. So of course the first thing I shall do is hit 7, whoops, that's the wrong button, 8 and then 7 to demonstrate it in its fully locked position, which looks even funnier with the air brake the way it is. I'm going to fold it back out. And of course 8 will lock those wings back into position, and I'm going to take another screenshot. Screenshots are of course for the Kerbalex page, and of course we're probably going to want SAS on as we fly it. Go ahead and turn the afterburners back off, and now I'll demonstrate maximum deflection. Although we are at a relatively low speed, you can see that visually the the hinges do pull out of the fuselage slightly. So you do get a little bit of immersion ruining in that particular aspect, but otherwise they're actually very stable when locked, which is awesome because, you know, the big problem with having wings, variable sweep wings is that they're not very stable. But this has pretty stable wings, as long as you don't slam it into the VAB, that is. I believe that she does deserve another demo, hence why I'm going to throw all of those on the runway, because who needs a clear runway and take off again. I actually just realized that I forgot to enable SAS, but as you can see, she is remarkably stable. So, you know, technically, you may not even need SAS, although if you're going to do super maneuverable shenanigans like this, you definitely do, because else things will go horribly wrong. Also, yes, very, very super maneuverable, and so you can do ridiculous, stupid things, of course, as per usual with a lot of my designs like this. Oh, this is a bad idea. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna try to... No, never mind. Abort. Abort! Interesting. Yeah, she doesn't have enough airspeed to continue flying like this. But you must admit, that went remarkably well. She should have died. Anyhow, the other thing I wanted to demonstrate today was that I made another F-35, or rather 2 more F-35s. This version can go about 40 meters per second faster than the other version. It is an F-35A, so no VTOL here, but it does conform to the style a bit more than my F-35B does. And the reason I made 2 variants is primarily because of the speed difference, and you'll see in a moment why. The speed difference between these two has to do with the fact that this has a more complete fuselage. I've used a couple extra pieces here, namely the structural panels, which cause a lot of drag, especially at high speed, and of course these aeroplane control surfaces, which are largely inactive and just give us a better shape on the belly here. It doesn't work so well on the top, or at least I don't think it would work very well on the top, which is why I didn't do it on the top. I think it looks fine like this, and I prefer the look of this to the other one, but of course it doesn't have the same exact status, same exact capability, and I've also used an additional ramp intake to continue the fuselage shape a little bit better into the rear landing gear. I clicked the wrong button. But of course I must show you how she flies. Hence why we're on the runway right now, and taking off at an extremely low speed, as you can see, about 38 meters per second. And if I engage the afterburner, I can do the ridiculousness that is turning around and saying, I'm going the other direction. And it's a very light craft, just a bit of fuel in here, a bit of fuel in here, a bit of fuel in there, and wings, lots and lots of wing shapes, and therefore lots of lift, allowing you to do those stupid things, and flies very well and looks more appropriately like an F-35 than, like I said, my F-35B. Of course, the F-35B has the VTOL functionality, which I'm very happy for. This does not, but I felt it wasn't fair to only have the F-35B, so here we are. And as you can see, we can have sustained high G turns quite easily. She flies quite well. Of course, the other version flies nearly identically to this. That is probably the weirdest I've ever said that word. But, yeah. I just felt like I should share. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. And as always, see you in space.